name is Rick Tamayo, and I'm here to talk to you guys about Inside Books Project. Currently, there is 152,000 incarcerated people in Texas, making Texas the largest state with the largest amount of people who are incarcerated. So, for those of you who don't know what Inside Books is, it's basically a person-to-prisoner project here in Texas, and it's Austin-based, and it's the only kind like it in Texas. And basically what volunteers do here is they come, they'll receive letters from prisoners, and this sheet is actually the sheet we send to the prisoners, and they'll have instructions on how to choose a book, and we have the different kind of categories on there. So basically, we receive letters from these prisoners, and then we choose the books that they choose from the small library that Inside Books has. And these books, they get donated from the community and from different places and drop-off, such as Bolden Creek Cafe or Space 12 in Austin, Texas. And basically from these drop-off locations, that means we rely on the community for most of the books we get. So these prisoners receive the books, and then from there, they send us the letter, and we just send them a letter with no personal information. Just an affirmation that we are there, and we're able to send the books for free, and they get them every 3 months. That's when they can request these books. So apart from that, we get hours from there just for helping prisoners, and apart the fact, we also help Inside Books because they rely all on the community. It's an all-volunteer nonprofit organization. Okay, so now beyond that, I want to speak about the need. If you guys can flip the handout, there's a graph on the back that just explains the amount of incarcerations in Texas and how they've been growing ever since 1925. And from here, I want to explain that the rise has been growing, which means the needs have been growing also for the prisoners, because in Texas, these prisons cut on education costs. So basically, the prison libraries don't have the materials required that the prisoners want. So basically, they're emphasizing punishment over rehabilitation, which should not be the case. This is why Inside Books Project takes advantage, and we try to give these prisoners the benefit that other prisoners in other states do not have. Because as I said, this is one of a kind in Texas. Austin's the only place that has Inside Books. So there is a need represented because these prisoners do write, and Inside Books, as I've been there constantly, they have multiple letters. They get letters all the time, and there's always volunteers there. So now beyond the need, I just want to speak about how it functions. Like I said before, it's all local, which means it doesn't have a whole Texas or whole region reach. Yes, anyone can mail in books that are used, which means they can receive books, but they're really low on books. They have to give 35,000 a year. That's how many books they basically donate a year. But from that point, where did all these books come from? They're from local drop-offs and local mail-ins. I just want to extend the plan, and I was thinking maybe Inside Books could launch a campaign, and then from there, it could possibly get most of Texas involved. They're a part of a program that's named I Live Here, I Give Here, and that's a program that has over 250 nonprofit organizations under it, and I feel like that program helps a lot of people in Texas because it gives you pride when you donate, or it gives you pride when you contribute to a nonprofit here in the state where you live. So I feel like if this ideology could be maybe expanded, Inside Books could be a bigger thing that could help people who are incarcerated in California maybe, or in other states. Now, apart from that, the way to implement the change, we would just need a lot more help in the fact with a lot more volunteers, and we would need to launch that campaign and make it important to the public. Now, aside from that, the future, it will include growth, just for the fact that Inside Books is viable, they tell you where your donations go, and then beyond telling you where your donations go, the prison rates are growing. People are getting incarcerated every day, and these people are still people. They have to get out eventually, and they have to get back into society. And the worst thing is to keep them from learning or getting literate while they're in jail. Because if they come out of jail without the basic skills that they need, well, they're not going to be able to get a job, and then they won't be useless in our society, but they just won't have the same opportunities we have. So Inside Books is changing that, and I've seen it by volunteering there. So from the fact is, the future is bright just because the need is there, as you can see by the statistics. And beyond that, Inside Books, it was founded in 1998, and it's been growing strong ever since then. It's been getting more volunteers, it's been noted as a nonprofit, and it's just been gaining in growth. So beyond that, I just want to move down to the points that I've spoken about. I've talked about Inside Books Project, which is local here in Austin. On the front of the page, as I said before, that is literally the page we send to the prisoners. And they read that, and they get to choose the books they want, and those are the categories. The volunteers then write their own letter on the back of it with no personal information, just an affirmation that we're there and we're ready to give them the books, and they're absolutely free, so they don't have to get confused. And they can keep these books also, so that's another great thing. Inside Books does advocate education and literacy, as I said, and they just want to teach the general public and prisoners who are imprisoned. Beyond that, we give references also to rehabilitation centers and even lawyers or other type of advocates where they could get help. And my implementation, I just want Inside Books to grow. It would take a lot of money, and it's a nonprofit, so that's why it looks a little far into the future, but this would be a great project to start in different cities in Texas or even in different states, because I come from a different city, McAllen, Texas, and they don't have a program like this at all. So I don't know where the libraries donate their books once they're done, or where the schools donate their textbooks once they're done using them, but I don't think they donate them in Inside Books. And beyond that, this just reaches on a personal level, because I have had family members who have been incarcerated and do not receive reading materials, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but once they come out, they've told me about the fact that they just read the Bible, and that's really awesome. But if they had the chance to get more reading materials just by us going into a place, writing a letter, and sending some books, it would actually help a lot. It's not just benefiting them to get educated, but you're actually benefiting someone, a person, because it could be your dad or your brother or your uncle. Like, this isn't just an inmate. It could hit home, and that's why I believe this program is really real, and it's very helpful. But yes, that is Inside Books, and I really think you guys should volunteer, because instead you're going to be emphasizing that rehabilitation is more important than punishment, which should be the case for many of these prisoners who aren't there for the correct reasons. But please go volunteer at Inside Books. I put the website on the back of the page. It's inside the little square of information telling you how to volunteer, the hours, and the days you can go. And their phone number is right there, and so is their address. And their address is also on the other side. But aside from that, you have all the information needed. Please go volunteer at Inside Books.